The late 1960s leave traces almost by default. Live performances are photographed. Album credits are logged. Names repeat across lineups, sessions, and releases. Once someone enters this space, the record usually expands on its own. Participation generates continuity even when careers change direction. Christina McKechnie enters that system. Her name appears on albums. She performs publicly. Photographs exist. The conditions for persistence are present. This is the kind of environment that normally keeps people visible even after they step out of the spotlight. But the trail does not expand. Even at the point where attention should increase, the record remains narrow. Appearances are brief. Documentation does not accumulate. Compared to others working alongside her, there are fewer interviews, fewer follow-ups, fewer points where one project leads clearly to the next. The archive exists, but it does not build, and in the early 1970s, it stops. There is no announcement, no final release identified as an ending, no statement preserved as an explanation. The name simply stops appearing in credits, lineups, and contemporary accounts. The system records no transition, only absence. From that point forward, the archive behaves differently. Instead of producing structured records, it produces fragments. Isolated references appear without context. Mentions do not connect to one another. No sequence forms that can be followed year to year. A reference in the 1980s places McKechnie in Sacramento. It stands alone. There is no surrounding documentation to support it, but it is the last point that can be traced with any confidence. Beyond it, the trail loses coherence. Later movement to other states is mentioned in secondary accounts. Brief contact with family around 1990 is sometimes cited. None of these references resolve into verifiable records. No addresses, filings, interviews, or official documents extend the archive forward. The system remains active. It simply no longer produces her. The anomaly here is not disappearance. It is that a public participant exits a well-documented world quietly, and the record never marks the moment she left. Mid-century creative records usually extend forward. Letters invite replies. Decisions generate consequences. Even deliberate departures tend to leave a trail, confirmations, locations, something that follows the act itself. When people explain themselves in writing, the archive normally continues after the explanation. Connie Converse enters that system early and quietly. Her work survives in recordings. Her words survive in correspondence. Dates align. The material holds together across years. Nothing about the archive around her suggests instability. For a long time it behaves exactly as expected. And then, in 1974, it changes character. The record does not weaken before it ends. Letters are written and preserved. Possessions are packed. The intention to leave is articulated clearly and in advance. Everything that should stabilize the archive is present. On the 10th of August 1974, Connie Converse leaves. That moment is fixed. What should follow does not arrive. No reply confirms her arrival elsewhere. No verified location replaces the point of departure. No institutional or public record forms beyond it. The correspondence does not resume. The system that reliably carried material up to this point produces no next layer. The archive contains the decision. It does not contain anything after. There is no gradual loss here, no distortion, no erosion over time. A working record reaches a clearly marked boundary and does not extend beyond it. Comparable records from the same period continue uninterrupted. The surrounding system remains intact. Here it stops. The anomaly is not that someone vanished. It is that a declared departure exists in the record, and the record ends exactly where the departure is recorded. Long-distance travel in the 1970s generates records quickly. Routes are planned, vehicles are registered, sightings accumulate. When something goes wrong on the road, the archive usually expands, reports, searches, locations layering on top of one another. Physical movement tends to produce redundancy. Jim Sullivan enters that system fully. Albums are released in 1969 and 1972. The public record is intact. There is no thinning beforehand, no instability, no suggestion that the trail is about to fail. Up to this point, the system behaves as expected. The journey east is not unusual, but it is not casual. It involves time, planning, and expectation. In March 1975, Sullivan leaves Los Angeles, driving east toward Nashville, and then the record breaks. On the 8th of March 1975, his Volkswagen Beetle is found abandoned near Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Identification remains inside. Personal belongings remain inside. The location is fixed. The trail should widen from here. It does not. No confirmed movement follows the vehicle. No verified sighting replaces the point where it is found. Searches and law enforcement involvement fail to extend the record beyond the car itself. The system that normally multiplies information concentrates it into a single, unmoving object. Everything leading up to the journey remains intact. The vehicle remains, the contents remain. Nothing beyond that does. There is no erosion here, no preparation, no declared exit. A physical trail reaches a hard boundary and stops producing information altogether. The last verifiable anchor is the car. After it, the record does not continue. By the mid-1990s, public life leaves almost nothing unrecorded. Media coverage is continuous. Financial activity is logged. Movement generates data. When something goes missing, the system is designed to recover it quickly. Ambiguity is not meant to last. Richey Edwards exists fully inside that system. The record is dense. Appearances are documented. Transactions are traceable. Visibility does not thin. Up to this point, the archive behaves exactly as expected. And then, on the 1st of February 1995, Edwards disappears. A car is found near the Severn Bridge. The location is fixed. Physical evidence exists. Administrative records continue. The system does not fall silent at the moment of disappearance. It reacts. Investigations follow. Reports are generated. Sightings are logged. Financial and legal traces are examined. Media coverage persists. Unlike the earlier cases, the archive does not collapse. It keeps producing material, but none of it resolves the event. No confirmed final act emerges. No body is recovered. No verifiable endpoint replaces the point of disappearance. The system continues to function, but certainty never arrives. In 2008, a decision is made. Edwards is declared legally dead. This does not follow discovery. It is not the result of new evidence. It is a procedural closure, a way for the system to move forward without resolving what happened. The record ends by decision, not by truth. Everything around the disappearance remains documented. The disappearance itself remains unchanged. Here, the system does not fail by silence. It fails by completing the record without producing knowledge. Across 4 cases, the pattern does not repeat, but the outcome does. Records fade, stop, end without truth, close without answers. Each system behaves differently. Each failure looks different. None of them resolve absence. These stories are not about musicians or fame or disappearance. They are about what happens when documentation reaches its limit and cannot go further. Sometimes the record erodes. Sometimes it cuts cleanly. Sometimes it keeps working and still replaces certainty with procedure. In every case, the absence remains,